key area of focus today is those western parts of the Gulf country, parts of the northern northern goldfields and upper Flinders, covered today in a severe weather warning for heavy rainfall. So we are likely to see 6-hourly rainfall totals pushing up above 120 millimetres. 24-hour rainfall totals could approach that 250 millimetre mark. We've already seen close to 120 millimetres at Kawanyama in the last 24 hours or so. But that severe weather warning pushes back towards the North Tropical Coast and parts of the Herbert and Lower Burdekin as well. Those areas are more likely to see patchy isolated falls through today, but from early tomorrow morning, those heavier falls are likely to become a little bit more widespread through that warning area between Tully and Ayr. So the risk is unfortunately not over yet, with flash flooding and renewed river rises anticipated over the coming days.
And what would you say the areas of greatest concern are, particularly with flash flooding?
So anywhere we see severe thunderstorms, we could see the impacts of flash flooding, and it is worth noting that severe thunderstorms are possible, if not likely, across much broader parts of northern Queensland. However, the area of our severe weather warning, again, it covers the western Gulf country, parts of the northern goldfields and upper Flinders, and parts of the northeast tropical coast. Those areas may see the more widespread heavy falls over the next 2 days. Of course, the north tropical coast is a key area of focus, given that we've already seen such incredible flooding in those areas. Incredible and devastating. Major flood warnings, as we've heard, still in place for the Herbert and Horton rivers, as well as the upper Burdekin, Cape and Flinders rivers. Moderate flood warnings for many other catchments, and we could see further rises.
Now let's go to WA now. The tropical low developing near the North Kimberley coast, it could reach cyclone strength.
Yes, it could. At this stage, the tropical low is still sitting to the northwest of the Kimberley coast. It is expected to strengthen over the coming days, possibly reaching cyclone strength later tomorrow or early Wednesday. There is a possibility that it could reach a severe tropical cyclone strength a little bit later in the week. One way or the other, we are expecting rain and winds to increase about the Kimberley coast. In anticipation of that risk, we do have a tropical cyclone watch current. Now, it covers the coast between Cape Levesque and De Grey, including Broome, and in that area we are likely to see the winds picking up from later today.
And could those local heavy falls become more widespread there?
Yeah, they absolutely could. And we do have flood watches in place for the West Kimberley catchments, as well as a few other catchments across northern Western Australia. Now, those flood watches are telling us that fairly widespread falls of 30 to 60 millimetres are anticipated over the coming days as this system strengthens. That is likely to lead to river rises and impacts for roads and access routes. We could very quickly see some roads become muddy, if not completely impassable over the coming days, which could eventually lead to some communities being isolated. Of course, the heaviest rain will occur once that system fully develops, so likely not for a day or two at least, but we're anticipating that risk starting to build through the early part of this week.
Now, a lot happening weather-wise. Victoria and New South Wales were on alert for severe thunderstorms. What's the situation now?
Yeah, so we've seen a very stormy weekend across much of New South Wales and eastern Victoria already. We're expecting that stormy weather to continue today and tomorrow. Now, the key areas of focus are eastern and central New South Wales, particularly about the ranges and western slopes, and through parts of northeast Victoria. In those areas, severe thunderstorms are quite likely today. They could bring the localised heavy falls, damaging winds and large hail, particularly across the central west slopes and plains of New South Wales. We may see high-end, very dangerous thunderstorms. But in addition to that more localised severe weather risk that's brought about by the thunderstorms, we do have severe weather warnings in place for these states as well for more widespread heavy rain. Now, for Victoria, that covers Gippsland. That's likely through today until early tomorrow. For New South Wales, that covers parts of the south coast and Illawarra, and that's most likely through the later part of today until around tomorrow afternoon. So rain and storms, unfortunately, ongoing for the next 2 days in the southeast.
And Miriam, heatwave warnings continue for some parts.
Yes, they do. In Western Australia, we are seeing those severe to locally extreme heat waves continuing, mostly for central and eastern inland parts of Western Australia at this point. It's a little cooler along the west coast, but we are expecting a more significant system to move through from around Tuesday. It's going to tap into some of that cloud and cooler air being generated by the rain from that developing tropical cyclone, and it will drag it south. Now, what that means for our temperatures is we are expecting to see an end to the heat wave in Western Australia come Wednesday or so as cooler conditions spread throughout the west.